Imagine you're scrolling through your phone late at night. You see a pair of sneakers you've wanted for months. They're $120. You don't really have $120 to spare right now. But then you see those four magic words at checkout. Buy now, pay later. And just like that, your brain does something fascinating. It stops thinking about $120. It starts thinking about $30. Four easy payments, spread across a few weeks. Suddenly, those sneakers don't feel expensive anymore. They feel affordable. You click confirm. And here's the thing, you're not alone. Millions of Americans do exactly this every single day. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, these companies are worth billions, and most people using them genuinely believe they're being smart, that they're managing their money well. But what if I told you that buy now, pay later isn't a financial tool? What if it's actually a psychological trap, one that's been engineered specifically to make you feel in control while quietly doing the opposite? That's what we're going to unpack today. Let's start with a story most of us know. Jake is 24. He's got a steady job, pays his rent on time, and considers himself pretty responsible with money. He doesn't take out big loans, he doesn't blow cash on things he can't afford. But over the last year, something strange happened. Even though his paycheck stayed the same, he always seems to be just a little short before the next payday. His savings aren't moving. There's always something coming up. He's got a Klarna balance on some new headphones, an Afterpay plan on a jacket he bought during a sale, and a Affirm payment running on a TV upgrade. None of them feel big. None of them feel like debt. They're just payments. This is the modern money trap. And it doesn't look like a trap at all. It looks like convenience. It looks like flexibility. It looks like a reward. Old school debt was obvious. You borrowed money. You knew you owed. You felt it every time you looked at your bank statement. The new version of debt is invisible. It's wrapped in clean apps, friendly reminders, and language designed to make you feel empowered. You're in control, it says. Pay on your schedule. But whose schedule is it really? To understand why buy now, pay later is so dangerous, you need to understand one concept first. It's called the pain of paying. When you hand over cash for something, your brain registers mild discomfort. Researchers have actually studied this. The same part of your brain that processes physical pain activates when you spend money. That's why paying with cash hurts a little. And that pain is actually useful. It makes you pause. It makes you ask, is this really worth it? Credit cards already dulled that pain. You're not handing over bills, you're just tapping a card. Studies show people spend significantly more with cards than with cash because the emotional friction is lower. But BNPL? BNPL nearly eliminates the pain of paying entirely. Think about it. You're not spending $120 right now. You're spending $30. In this moment, that's all your brain registers. And $30 for something you really want, that barely stings at all. This is exactly what BNPL companies are banking on. Literally, they've engineered a product that hacks the one built-in mechanism your brain uses to protect you from overspending, and they've packaged it to feel like a gift. Here's where it gets even more interesting. When you split a purchase into 4 payments, something called mental accounting kicks in. Your brain doesn't naturally add up all your BNPL balances together. It treats each one as a small, separate, manageable expense. So you might have 4 or 5 active plans running at the same time and genuinely not feel like you're carrying any real financial weight. But add them up, you might be sitting on $600 to $800 in upcoming obligations you barely registered taking on. And that's where Jake's mystery is solved. He's not bad with money. His brain is just doing exactly what it's wired to do, and BNPL was specifically designed to work with those mental shortcuts, not against them. Now let's talk about what BNPL actually costs you. On the surface, many BNPL services advertise 0 interest, and some genuinely are, if you pay on time. That part is real. But here's what they don't put on the banner. Miss a payment? Late fees hit fast. Some BNPL services also report missed payments to credit bureaus now, which can quietly ding your credit score.
And with newer BNPL products offering longer payment timelines, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, interest rates can climb well above 20%, sometimes close to what a credit card charges. But here's the thing that matters most, the thing nobody talks about. BNPL doesn't just cost you money, it costs you wealth. Simple example. Say you use BNPL every month to buy things you wouldn't have bought otherwise. Clothes, gadgets, random Amazon finds that went from want to need the second you saw the installment option. Just an extra $150 a month of purchases you technically couldn't afford but made feel affordable. That's $1,800 a year. Now imagine instead you had invested that $1,800 annually into a basic index fund, earning an average 10% return. Over 10 years, that's nearly $29,000. Over 20 years, you're looking at close to $100,000. BNPL doesn't just take money from your present, it quietly steals from your future. Here's the deeper psychology worth understanding. Most of us think we make financial decisions based on logic. We don't. We make them based on how things feel in the moment. And the entire BNPL industry is built on that gap, the space between how something feels and what it actually is. There's a concept in behavioral economics called present bias. It means humans are hardwired to value things that feel good right now far more than things that benefit us later. Future you being debt-free feels abstract and distant. Present you getting those sneakers feels immediate and real. BNPL weaponizes present bias. It makes the reward instant and pushes all the cost into the future. And that future never feels threatening until suddenly it arrives. But there's something even more subtle happening. BNPL changes how you shop before you even reach checkout. Studies show that when consumers know BNPL is available, they browse expensive items. They expand what they're even willing to consider. Things that were previously out of budget get mentally reclassified as within reach. The ceiling of what feels affordable quietly rises, and you didn't even notice it happen. This isn't a side effect, it's a feature. Retailers pay BNPL companies specifically because BNPL increases average order value. When shoppers know they can split it, they spend more. That's the entire business model on the retailer side. So the next time you see Klarna or Afterpay at checkout, understand this clearly. It wasn't placed there to help you. It was placed there to help the retailer sell you more than you planned to buy. And there's one more layer to this worth understanding. BNPL creates what psychologists call a commitment trap. Once you've already got 2 or 3 payment plans running, stopping feels harder than continuing. You've already committed. You tell yourself you'll sort it out next month. This is the same psychology that keeps people locked into gym memberships they don't use, streaming services they forgot about, and financial patterns they know aren't working, because the cost of changing somehow feels bigger than the cost of just continuing. The trap isn't dramatic. It never announces itself. It just quietly becomes your normal. So what do you actually do with all of this? First, stop treating BNPL as a neutral tool. It isn't. Every time you use it for something you couldn't pay for in full today, you are taking on debt. Not a payment plan, not installments. Debt. Calling it by its real name changes how your brain engages with it. Second, try a simple test before any BNPL purchase. Ask yourself, if this showed up as the full price right now, no split option, would I still buy it? If the honest answer is no, that's your signal. That's your brain being outmaneuvered. Pause. Put it back. Third, once a month, open every BNPL app you use and write down every active balance. Total it up into one number. See it for what it is. This will feel uncomfortable, and that discomfort is entirely the point. BNPL works by making you not feel the weight of what you owe. You need to force yourself to feel it. Fourth, start asking a different question at checkout. Instead of, can I afford the monthly payment? Ask, what could this money become in 5 years? When you start thinking in future value, impulse buys start losing their grip pretty fast. The people who really build wealth aren't necessarily the ones earning the most. They're the ones who protect the gap between what they earn and what they spend, and make deliberate decisions to keep that gap open and growing. BNPL is specifically engineered to close that gap without you ever realizing it happened. Here's what I want you to walk away with. The most dangerous financial traps are never the obvious ones. Nobody falls for something that looks like a trap. The ones that actually get people are the ones that look like solutions, like help, like finally someone making life a little easier. Buy now, pay later looks like financial freedom. It feels like flexibility and control. But underneath the clean interface and the friendly reminders is a simple machine doing one thing: converting your desire for things today into consistent compounding revenue for someone else. The sneakers, the gadget, the upgrade, they'll depreciate, they'll wear out, get upgraded, get forgotten.